So we need to add A0 to ESP at its current address in order for it to be aligned with its original address. So let's add this instruction at the end of our shellcode. Let's execute this instruction and see if we've aligned ourselves correctly. I'll press F7 and look at that. ESP is pointing to the same address it was before we executed our reverse shell. So all we've got left to do now is pop back the values of the registers from our stack back to the registers. We can do this with the popfd popad instructions. So let's do that. We'll put in popfd popad. And let's take these instructions and see how they affect our registers. Notice once again the values of our registers, which are saved here on the stack. We'll pop them back to the stack and look at that. EDX once again is pointing to the TFTPD32 entry point. So now that we've recovered from our reverse shell, all that we have left to do is jump back to the original location of the file from which we performed our hijack and allow the natural execution of TFTPD32 to continue. Since we overwrote the first instruction in the file, which was a call to a function, we need to reintroduce this call. So let's quickly do that. This was the instruction before we modified it. We deleted this and placed a jump to our code cave. So I'll quickly copy this and reintroduce this right here. And now I'll jump to the next instruction, which was supposed to be executed right after that call. I'll save these changes and save this to a file. Let's open this file and see what happens as we execute it. Once again, our jump that hijacks the execution flow to our code cave, our stack saving instructions, our reverse shell. I'd like to set a netcat listener and see whether we really catch this shell. We'll place the breakpoints at the end. And allow the execution to continue. Oh, look at that. We've just received a reverse shell. Notice something interesting though. We haven't hit our breakpoint. We were supposed to stop at the end of our reverse shell. However, this breakpoint was never reached. Let's exit our reverse shell and continue to investigate this. Interesting. As we've exited the reverse shell, we've finished the execution, and now we're about to align the stack back to where it should be. Once again, notice that ESP was calculated correctly. We now restore our registers and our flags, reintroduce our overwritten instruction, and then jump to where the file was supposed to continue its code execution. I'll quickly allow reanalysis of this section and continue code execution. And look at that. The TFTP server has opened successfully. So things are looking good so far, with a small glitch which we will need to investigate.